Hey there, Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, Taurus Rising. It's Maggie from Moon Directed. Welcome to my channel. Here we work with the energy of the moon to see how we can best utilize it to move our life forward in the most positive way possible. I am actually on my second attempt at your video. I was 15 minutes in and somebody came to the door and I don't have a video editor. Oh, I have one, but I don't know how to use it yet. So I'm working on that. So, so some of the cards are pulled, so I hope you will trust me on that. I'm going to give you your channeled message, and then we are going to cover May 25th through the 31st for the first week of the Moon Astrology, and then I'll timestamp for the second week of the Moon Astrology, which will be June 1st through the 7th. We just came off of that new moon that happened on Friday, and this is Saturday. So yesterday we had that new moon in Gemini, and that new moon in Gemini was interesting because the North Node has now moved into Gemini. And so that for you is in your second house. Your second house is self-value, self-worth, self-esteem, and where you want to take it. And so your vision was really interesting because it was the sword and the stone. It was young Arthur pulling the sword from the stone. And I'm like, wow, how did he do that, right? He did it because he was in alignment with his heart. His heart, and it was pure, he was in alignment with spirit, and even though he was supposed to be going to go get it, and that was convenient, and it seemed efficient, it's such a Taurus thing, it was efficient. So anyways, he pulled that sword, and he pulled it out easily, and everybody's like, how did he do that? And it was because his heart was pure. He wasn't doing it for wealth. He wasn't doing it, everybody else knew that you would be crowned the king, right? Well, all he knew was, he was supposed to go get a sword, and there was one. So he was just doing his job. He was just doing what he was supposed to. And so he came into alignment with his destiny, right? And so he became this really great leader who kind of got taken advantage of by the people that he cared about. And he saw stuff happening and was like, oh, I don't want to see that. And I'm just going to do my good work over here, and that'll just take care of itself. But eventually, kind of like mice in the pantry, the situation kind of crawled in there and it started messing with all the aspects of his life. And so then I was journaling for you because there was so much, and this is what I heard. This will be a journey that requires compassion for yourself as you come face to face with the truth. It could be in business or it could be personal. It will require great maturity and willpower to do what you know in your heart of hearts is the only thing to do that will allow you to find true inner peace. Do the right thing for the right reason, and you will find that the sword is easily released, and you are once more in alignment with yourself. This eclipse that's coming up on the 5th of June. On the 5th of June is in your 8th house of transformation. Super freaking powerful. This is your opportunity to walk away from whatever is not in alignment with your true self and set yourself free to be in alignment with who you really were meant to be. It's amazing energy. And so planting your seeds of intention now for what it is that you want to manifest that brings you that sense of in alignment with your heart of hearts, with your truth, is how you get there. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the week. May 25th through May 31st. And as we walk into this week, we have the moon in in Cancer. And so the moon in Cancer is like this energy that we had during the Taurus season where it's growth and then, the sun is now in Gemini. And the moon was in Gemini, and that was this communicating what it is and what's important to us and being curious and interested about where we're going and where we're headed. And now there's this need to kind of pull in and internalize our emotions and go a little deep and see what it is that is really important to us. What do we feel is going to bring about the growth and help us with the self-love? And again, if you are just clicking on here, a reminder that this is my second attempt at your video. I had only gotten to some of these cards, and I don't want to re-pull the cards for you because the messages were important. So that's why they're already out here. So what we have here is this need to do the slow and steady work, which Taurus are so good at, right? I think a lot of the signs are going to struggle with this, but with the energy of the world right now, stopping shifting into a new direction and then slowly moving forward. And I think the eclipses that are happening are going to be lining that up. We have 2 more eclipses coming up in the next 30 days as we finish off the Capricorn Cancer cycle of the moon nodes. And then, so we get a little sneak preview going into it with this. And so the answers that you are seeking are, I wrote it here for everybody. The answers are within right now this week. When you go in, you will figure out what means love to you, like your self-love, and what it is that makes you feel loved. And I mean loved by you, because that you are a spark of the divine. You're having this human experience, but it is about coming into alignment with ourselves and our purpose for being here, and knowing that our value and our worth comes simply from being. Just being makes you worthy, and that you don't have to jump through hoops. And then how do you promote growth? And so there's this choice, this decision point that you're at. And so these cards I did see, but I laughed when I saw this, the first one, because it says, take note. Your answers are being given to you. Quiet external voices and excessive noise will give you the chance. The external noises and excessive noise will give you the chance to hear what is being offered. I always have throat chakra problems with you guys. My throat always clams up. All right, so finding your voice. But this time it's finding your internal voice. If you can get out in nature, if you can stop on your way home and take some quiet space for yourself, if you can get out there and be barefoot, if you can garden, if you can get out into the wide open spaces a little bit and allow yourself to just be with yourself. Just not necessarily have, an agenda maybe, but allow the thoughts to freewheelingly, like wheeling thoughts through your head, and just see what are you thinking about? What is important to you? What are you trying to figure out? Because you're coming up on this, all right, so you're building something, but then the next thing that you're going to do, is going to be this moving forward thing. And so it's the releasing, figuring out where you want to go and what do you need to, Okay, so when my daughter moved to Italy, she was only allowed to take 2 suitcases. It was a brand new life, a brand new opportunity for her, and she had to go through all of her belongings. She mailed herself 2 packages and took 2 suitcases with her. I don't know about you, but I couldn't fit my life into 2 packages and 2 suitcases. It was pretty impressive. I have more cards than that, for God's sakes. So just what is important to you, and identifying what it is you're willing to leave behind, because that's what's going to be asked of you next week. And understand that you are, okay, so the dolphins are spirit guides that bring the joy and the happiness into our life. They're protectors of humanity. They're that happy, really Palladian energy. I think they're from Palladium. Anyways, it says, keep your heart open and know that you're being protected. Listen to what you know to be true and allow yourself to see and understand what's going on around you. Allow yourself to see and understand what's going on around you. Listen for the messages. Divine is trying to bring you messages. It's trying to in the divine, just so you know, it's your higher self. Before we came here, right, we had a plan. We all make our plans. And then we go running around and we're like, oh, I want to learn these things. Will you help me? And so some people in our lives have agreed to help us, and we don't like them while we're here. And it was really nice of them to come and teach us these hard lessons, because, who doesn't want to be liked, right? And so they know that they came here to be jerks, and they might be really, really good at it, but it doesn't mean their soul likes it, okay? So there's that. So there's an opportunity to teach and to be taught. So there's that, but also there's the choices. We have the choices all along the way. You can come in with a plan, and you can have the people lined up, the souls lined up to help you, and you could be like a squirrel. Oh, look at that shiny thing over there, and you run in that direction, and the next thing you know, you're heading down another path. Or you've decided, I don't want to learn that lesson. You can make those choices and decisions at every step along the way. But if you really came here, okay, so we do really come here with this plan. Your higher self says, oh, well, you didn't like you didn't want to do it that way, but I really want to keep you on track because your higher self is you. So you want to keep yourself on track. Your oversoul wants to keep you on track. So here's an opportunity that could work for you. Why don't we try this? Okay. Well, you don't like the setup on that. How about we try this? And so it is a series of whack-a-mole. I just saw whack-a-mole. Like, that didn't work. Wait, maybe that'll work. So we go through life and we're like trying to figure things out. And sometimes if you just stop and you wait and you watch the little moles pop their head up, you start to see the rhythm of how that works. Then you're like, oh, if I count to 3, whack, whack, and then 2, whack. And you start to figure out how you can win at the game of whack-a-mole in life, right? And so, but you have to take the moment where you stop and you observe and you pay attention to what it is you're hearing, what it is you're feeling, what is important to you, what do you really want? And that is what you're being encouraged to do Monday and Tuesday of this week. There's a lot of emotional energy going on. There's a lot of stuff happening, but I want to encourage you to stay as optimistic as you can about the future and listen with your heart, taking your head out of the game for a couple of days, and I'll listen to everything with your heart. And then on Wednesday, the moon is going to move into Leo at 2:33 in the morning. So you wake up with this energy. Now the moon is in opposition to Saturn up there in Aquarius. And so some people might find this a little grumpy. Some people might be way up in their heads and full of themselves. So just heads up on that. But what I see in this is this great opportunity for this creative energy of okay, so I'm thinking I want to create this, and your head is like, oh, and because Aquarius likes to do things and shake things up and be creative and think outside the box. Yeah, you can do that, but we can do it by doing it this way. And you're like, oh, I don't know. And then, you know what? So pay attention to what you're seeing, because this is an opportunity to figure out what actually nourishes you. Where is the path? What is the direction you want to go in? And yeah, there's going to be some competitiveness out there, like competing ideas, competing thoughts, I'm not sure, should I do this, should I do that? And so as you wade your way through it, remember to listen with your heart, because what feels right is where you're going to figure out where to go. What brings the pleasure? What feels right? This is a week where really getting into your heart space. It says, my life is deliciously joyous. What feels like? What nourishes your soul? What makes you feel loved for yourself inside? Where's the joy? Where's the happiness that you bring to yourself? And so as that moon moves into... Oh, wait, what is this? Thursday, I wrote, keep an eye on your emotions. It's hard to know what the truth is, because we've got Venus in retrograde and we've got Mercury moving into Cancer. And so listening to your intuition, but maybe not necessarily sharing with the world what it is that you are thinking and feeling. So keeping a little bit of it to yourself, but Taurus, I don't think for you that's so much of an issue. You're pretty good about that. And then we have this assessing and coming in on Friday when the moon moves into Virgo. And Virgo likes to analyze. It likes facts. It likes figures. It likes to be very discerning. And so it's really cool that at this phase of the moon, where it's about assessing and discernment, we also have the moon in very supportive energy there of analyzing Virgo. So it's perfect for that. There's a lot of other things going on in the sky that day, but I think that if you really focus in on that, and there's a lot of energy. Oh gosh, there's just that. It's a very high energy weekend. So pace yourself. Lots of things going on. I don't really want to get into all the other planet stuff. I really want to stay focused on what the moon is and this project of the heart. And so, yes, this is something where at first you feel, okay, this is what I feels right. And this is starting to figure out, how do I bring into my life what feels right? Not talking yourself out of it because on paper that doesn't make any sense or there's money involved. No, it's what feels right and how do I make that happen, which is going to be a challenge because on Sunday there's this sense of fear that comes in. And so I feel like this is going to be about you getting too much up into your head and getting out of your heart space. And so I really want to encourage you to set your heart in alignment with what it is that you really want, and cut out all the other noise and the other disturbances, and use that beautiful mind that you have for laying out a plan to figure out how to create what is important to your heart. Let your heart lead. So you have emotional healing. It is safe for you to let go of old emotional pain, and by doing so, you allow your heart to mend. This feels, even though this is coming in here, I feel like this has an awful lot to do with that full moon you're setting up for, that full moon lunar eclipse, where it is about the internal emotional release. When it's a lunar eclipse, it is about the internal. When it's a solar eclipse, it's about the external. So this is about the internal letting go of something. That's why if it was a solar eclipse, then we might be talking about letting a relationship go. Letting a job go, letting a house go, that kind of big transition. But this is about letting go of the emotional baggage, figuring out what you really want to pack into that suitcase of your life going forward. And so being willing to let that go, part of this assessing and discernment process here, this making the plan is, this is what my heart really wants. And so do I need to let go of negative self-talk? Do I need to let go of negative influences from other people in my life? Do I need to let go of those voices in my head that say, well, this is how you're supposed to live your life? No, you get to choose how you live your life. It's in Saturn. It's in Sagittarius. And when this full moon eclipse happens in Sagittarius, it says what old long-held beliefs are no longer serving you. How is that self-talk about these beliefs not serving you? And so this is the assessing and the discernment you do. This is the analyzing you do. It's not about the facts and the figures. This is about belief systems and what serves and what does not. Wow, that was heavy. I hadn't thought of it that way before. Ooh, okay. All right. So, your wishes are coming true. What your heart has been longing for is getting closer every day. So by letting go of what's not working, look what you're bringing in, and you have trust. You can trust the people around you. They are earth angels sent to give you the guidance you seek. So, wow. You got a busy couple of weeks, I feel, leading up to this. A lot of emotional work being done. This fears are not real. Oh gosh, that sounds so not right. They're created in the head. Anxiety is created in the head. It feels real. Our body has real chemical reactions to it because of the neurotransmitters and the hormones and all the things that are involved in that. But fear is about something that hasn't even taken place yet. And so, therefore, it can't be real. And actually, the only thing that's really real is what's happening right now. So, unless you are literally at this moment being chased by a bear, being afraid of being chased by a bear is not real. The body reaction to it might be, but it's not actually real. So, okay. So, this is when the moon is in Libra, and so it's about balancing that emotion. It is about recognizing that, oh gosh, I'm letting these anxieties, these fears, maybe from past experiences, or maybe from things people have said, or maybe from the energy of long-held beliefs are holding you back. But what can you do here? And it says exchange energy to create abundance. All right, so when I see that, this is about you giving away something of value: time, money, wisdom, some kind of resource to create balance. But in this case, when I see fear and exchanging energy, I want to suggest so strongly that when the fears start creeping up, you decide that you say, no, I'm happy. I am joy-filled. I am confident that I'm on the right track. And the energy exchange is to actually release and let the fears go. You have intend and create. And this is so powerful. What you think about, you bring about. And so exchanging your energy from fear to abundance, from fear to joy, that's how you create it. But if you focus on the fears, you're going to manifest what it is that you're afraid of. And you have surround yourself with protective energy, the arrow. And so when the fears start to creep in, just kind of either in your mind, if you're out in public, or even at home, if you just kind of draw this big circle of protection around you and imagine yourself in this nice, beautiful blue bubble of protection from St. Michael, you can create this protective energy. And so I always like to work with St. Michael. He is very, for an angel, he's very grounded. I've had some interesting conversations with St. Michael. He can be, he's very direct, and I'm very direct, and so I appreciate it, although I didn't necessarily appreciate it at the time. Alright, so let's go ahead and get set up for next week. As soon as I find my pen, we're going to set this in at, hi. Hi, how are you? This is week 2. This is June 1st through the 7th. We were just laughing. I was. Okay, not we, because really I'm the only person here. Laughing about St. Michael and how snarky he can be, but how very protective and loving and caring he is. And so I really want to encourage you, as you work your way through this process, to invite St. Michael in to guide you, because when we start out on Monday, we still have that moon in Libra, and I'm just going to go over this again. It is about promoting yourself through, navigating through your fears, establishing healthy boundaries. Where is that card? See here on Sunday, you see how she's in this egg of light? And this is like coming up closer, and that's still in that bubble, but now she's sitting up, she's safe and protective, and instead of all this dark energy, now we have this pink healing self-love light of the heart chakra. I've never noticed that before, and I'm really a fan of it. Okay, so again, it is about exchanging the energy to create abundance, and this is exchanging negative energy for positive energy. I really feel it. I don't think this is so much about giving of your personal resources and time and energy that way, but more of when the negative thoughts come in, chasing them away because you have intent and create. And so this is about creating for yourself what it is that you want to go forward, and to surround yourself with that beautiful protective light. And I was thinking St. Michael, but I look at this and I want to say the protective energy of your self-love. Like putting yourself first, making yourself a priority in your life. Like, you deserve that. You deserve to be a priority in your life. Everybody does. And so maybe you've been giving your power away to people or situations based on these limiting beliefs of what you think it is that you're supposed to do, because, you are supposed to be the provider. You are supposed to be doing this. You're supposed to be doing that. And where's the joy and the love in there for you? And it comes from yourself, right? You give to yourself that, and you attract it to you. Okay, so I don't know where I want to put these. All right, so Tuesday. Oh, one other thing about this energy here. The energy in Libra is really great for communicating with other people. Don't over communicate. Some of the ideas and thoughts and things that are coming to you may not necessarily you want to share with everyone. So, but when you do communicate from the heart. Not from the head, but from the heart. What is really important to you? What really matters? And then the moon is going to move into Scorpio at 12:06 p.m., so in the afternoon on Tuesday. And some of those conversations that you either had with yourself in spirit, or you had with other people, is going to bring you some sudden insights, some I feel like it's positive, inspirational thing that's going to help you to have the willpower to focus on your transformation. See that butterfly? Focusing on your transformation about what this is. the moon in Scorpio here is about what's passion, where your passion is, what gets you up in the morning, what makes you feel excited about life. And so focusing on that, because now you've understood that you're going to have to let some stuff go that doesn't work for you. Okay. There's been a lot of reflecting. This internal energy, this is, when I see this, I can see that you're like, okay, so here's the mask I show people, but here's the parts of who I really am that I keep on the side that I don't necessarily show everyone. And so during this process of planting your seeds of intention and getting ready to release the emotional energy that does not serve you, is going to be about being the Scorpio too. Wow. Okay. So Scorpio is such transformative energy. And so here's an opportunity for you to take down the mask, at least when you're talking to yourself. Like, you don't have to pretend to be anyone with yourself ever, right? You shouldn't. So who are you really? Being willing to identify who you are through this quiet time. And look, there's a 6 here. And when I see the 6 in all of the tarot, so it's about choice. That's the Lover's card, right? It is about the 6 of Wands is victory. The 6 of Swords is healing. The 6 of Cups is soulmate energy. And what am I missing here? The 6 of Pentacles is about balance. But see, she's kind of pulled up into herself. Kind of like this. It's taking time for yourself and allowing time to pass and allowing the healing to happen and allowing yourself to make these choices. The clock is going to ring when it's supposed to. It's coming up on the hour here. But see the lotus there is all about connection with spirit and opening up. And it looks like dawn. And so I think that's soon, because here we have the breakthrough, where you break out of the mold that you have placed yourself in, where you set yourself free to go out there and find the joy in the existence. You know, that little carousel horse in there that spins round and round when anybody cranks it so it brings joy to everybody else, that horse gets to break free. That horse is you. That horse is you. When we get to this masculine take action energy, in your case, in your 8th house of transformation, with the full moon that is happening. So on Thursday, the moon gets into Sagittarius at 1:17 p.m. And actually, it's a really great energy that day. And I really want to encourage you to use that day to focus in on, to think about all the places that you have been successful. Like, this is a great day to sit down and write out a gratitude list about all the good things that you really like about yourself and what you've accomplished, and really understand how magnificent you are. So take your own little personal vow. You don't necessarily have to share that with anyone, right? This is where you like, wow, you know, I really am really good at this, because this moon is about blossoming into who you want to become. There's so much power in it because it is an eclipse. And in your 8th house of transformation, it is leaving behind the unwanted emotional baggage. That's the action. That's the action that's going to happen here. But now it's about letting go of what doesn't work, these long-held beliefs, so that you can move forward. There is some self-reflection that is going to come from this, but look, now she's aware of her emotions, but her head's above it. And so it is very much like this. Only here there's no mask. See? There's no mask. And I feel like what you release is the mask. You take your mask off. You're like, wait, I don't need this. I'm breaking free. I am going to go do what works for me, and I don't actually care whether people think, because this is about me finding the pleasure and the joy in my life. This is about taking responsibility for your life, your happiness. What is it that's important to you? This energy here is a real sneak preview of what is to come over the next 18 months. And you have time to make some adjustments as you go along the way. There will be new ways of communicating. There will be new belief systems. There will be Relationship secrets? What the heck does that mean? Oh, okay. So some of the stuff that you're thinking about in your relationship to other people. So it could be at work. It could be in family. It could be intimate partnerships. You're changing, but sort of like the butterfly in the cocoon. All that change is going on, but the world hasn't seen it yet. And so keeping yourself in the cocoon a little longer might be really important for you. And so you don't need to rush anything. You're taking responsibility for your life at your pace, what works for you. It's a time for maybe planning. It is a time for maybe creating some progress. But I feel like, yeah. So I keep seeing the inside of the cocoon. It's not the cocoon from the outside. So, oh my gosh, look at this. You have an eclipse energy here. Expect powerful change. Your world is going to shift. You're like, sorry, Taurus. Taurus really hates it when change happens and they're not the one involved in it. Only here's the thing. This is happening as a lunar eclipse, which means this is internal shifting. And actually, you have a lot of control over this, right? It's not necessarily external things happening that's changing your life. It's you inside changing. And so I think that you're going to wake up and you're going to go maybe like a year or a year and a half from now and go, wow, my life, I don't even recognize who I was back then. I went through a really big event in my life, and honestly, when I look at it, it's so funny because I feel like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz when it's all in black and white, and then she opens up the door and everything's in Technicolor. And that's how my life feels. Like there was the before in the black and the white, and then there was the Technicolor. When I stepped into my own empowerment of myself and started focusing on what in my heart really was important and what brought me the joy. And so, oh, look at this. You have stay strong. I think, it's really hard to make change. And so you've decided, or you're deciding, and you're shifting, and it's really easy to slide back into old patterns, especially when you, as long as you're in the cocoon, it's a lot easier. But as you start going out there to interact with the world, it's easy to fall into patterns, right? And so committing to being who you want to be, who you are creating for yourself. You have see yourself in nature and heed the messengers. And so, again, I really want to encourage you to get out in nature if you can and spend time alone and figure out who you are. This is a real time of withdrawing into yourself as much as possible to figure out what you want to create. Because what you intend, what you focus on, intend and create. This is an opportunity to change anything that is not working for you. Keep what does. This doesn't have to be a complete, overhaul. For some of you, it might be. Be fearless and be bold. Stay strong, be fearless, and be bold. Taking responsibility for your life, making these choices, making these changes when people have gotten so used to, and people could be you, because you're a fixed sign, so used to how things are and what your vision of yourself is. And when you start making changes, and trust me, people in my life there's still people in my life who have known me forever that they're like, I don't know who you are. No, you don't. You should get to know me now. I'm kind of fun. But there's that moment when, when sometimes I encounter people, or situations. Something came up recently, and immediately, I was like, whew, it was kind of like a kick in the gut for a minute. And then I'm like, wait, that's how I would have reacted. That's not how I'm going to react now. I'm actually not going to react that way. And so, you know, I'm like, okay. And I let it go, because that's their choice to live their life that way. And it's not me. And I brought myself back into the center of who I am. So, this moon in Scorpio. This moon in Scorpio is subtitled, I don't know if you can see it, Passion. Okay? It's about the willpower, the staying strong, the being bold and being fearless to focus on this. That for some reason has a lot of power in this reading, even though the eclipse is happening. So that's the 7th house of partnerships and relationships for you. And then the willingness to transform into what is passionate for you. Being willing to break free, to put down the mask, to do the healing, take your time, but awaken your passion. She's sleeping, and now she needs to start waking up. And this full moon will start to waken you up so that you can do this, so that you can burst free. And so burgundy is your color for the next 2 weeks. Awaken your passion. Awaken your passion. Be willing to go for what it is that is really important to you. Wow, this is a long reading. I hope they all aren't like this week. But they might be, because this energy is intense. All right, you guys take care. I will see you back here on Monday when we do the mid-Gemini season and how that energy is going to affect you. I'd love it if you'd hit the thumbs up or leave me a comment so I can put you in my book of names. And I will chat with you soon, and hopefully for a much shorter reading. All right, you take care.